But Friday morning, I woke up and I went for a jog and I prayed and I asked God. I said, God, I love my church family. I love you guys. I've been here for 5 years now, and I credit this church and this church family to my spiritual growth in so many ways, because here I have found Christians who follow Christ and they display faith through love. And so my heart is really with this church family. So I was asking God, I said, God, I don't want to preach a sermon that comes from me, or I don't want to preach a sermon that isn't supposed to be preached or not meant to be preached. I really want to preach your sermon. Okay, now, and I was jogging as I was kind of saying this. God has offered salvation. He has offered the things that he has promised to Israel to Gentiles. Yes. Okay? Gentiles would be me and most of us here. Okay? A Gentile is a non-Jew. So Paul is communicating this reality. He is saying God has, based on Israel's response to him, he has now offered mercy and salvation to us, the Gentiles. Okay? And then I'll go ahead and read you just a brief piece of that so you have an understanding. It's so important to understand that before we move on to Romans 12. It says, by their transgression, salvation has come to the Gentiles to make them jealous. Wow. Now, if their transgression is riches for the world, and their failure is riches for the Gentile, how much more will their fulfillment be? So he's speaking to the fact that there's going to be even greater blessings when Israel, the nation of Israel, gets it together. Right? Or being transformed by the renewing of our mind. So one is bad path, one is good path. One is to conform, and one is to transform. Right? So let's start with the first path. Do not conform to this world. Okay? So I wanted to understand two words, conform and roll. I wanted to know what he meant by that, or what is meant by that. So I did a little bit of homework, okay? And I found that the conform, as it is used in Romans 12:2, means to fashion in the same way. Okay? Interesting enough that earlier in the book of Romans, Paul uses conform, but he's speaking slightly in a different result. Okay, so in Romans 8:28, Paul says, or he uses the word conform, describing us having been predestined by God the Father to become conformed to the image of his Son. Okay, so we have this idea of us being conformed to something positive.